Hello, gorgeous people. As many of you know, or if first of all, thank you for coming to my channel. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Do leave your comments. I appreciate the super thanks. It really helps my channel. Yes, and please, if you can comment, like, that helps the algorithm. Hopefully my channel will grow because there's a lot of censorship going on right now. So subscribing is for free, and if you want to join and become a member for a small fee, that's up to you. But subscribing is free, and commenting is free, liking is free. Anyways, I've been thinking a lot, because I remember when I was growing up, we used to be held accountable for things that we did. If we lied or something, especially if we lied, we were taught that lying, it's not okay. They weren't called untruths, they were called lies, which is the definition for somebody when you don't tell the truth, you lie. And now, instead of calling them lies, we call them their truth. And these blatant lies are allowed to stand, and God forbid if we call it out. The reason I was thinking about this is because I have TikTok, and there was this huge thing with this a TikToker. She's very famous. She has like 14.4 million followers. Her name is Micaela Noguera, something like that. And she became well known, famous for the fact that she was honest, and basically she called out people for makeup and saying, this brand is trying to sell you this, which is not true. You can deceive them by putting these fake eyelashes and stuff like that, right? So this is why she amassed such huge following, because people could relate. She's a bit overweight, she's short, she's not that attractive, but with the makeup she makes herself look great, and so what made her fan base and why she became so huge was because she was relatable and she was being honest about it. She did a mascara thing with the L'Oreal or something, I can't remember. And it turns out that she put fake lashes on, and she didn't really say that it was a paid advertisement. So the entire TikTok exploded. There's even PR people going on about it, right? And everybody was commenting that those were fake eyelashes. The reason why I'm bringing this up, I'm going to bring it over to Harry and Meghan Markle, and even Hillary and Alec Baldwin, and even Hunter Biden. All these people, because here the evil person is the one that calls them out. So the entire TikTok community, it's huge. I mean, if you go to TikTok and you type Micaela Noguera, and you get people all over the world actually trying on the mascara, and basically, and you can tell that she put falsies on, which is something that at the very beginning, when she started her TikTok channel and she wasn't famous, she actually became very famous because she showed how these companies tell you that they make the eyelashes long and luscious, and what they do is they put these falsies on. And she, after a while, after she's become famous, she came and did exactly what she was criticizing people for. And I think people are really angry because that's not why people follow her. They follow her because she was supposed to be truthful, she was supposed to be one of them, and she was supposed to be honest. So I follow this PR guru lady that I really like. She's very smart. And then she has the very, watching her, she said to me that, well, not to me, she posed a good question. She asked a good question. She said, because after the whole scandal of the L'Oreal, people were waiting for Micaela's next TikTok, right, to address the scandal that she was caught red-handed with putting falsies, claiming those were her lashes, because people called her out in the TikTok, and she went, no, L'Oreal would never, knowing full well that she had used false eyelashes at the very end for the lashes to look huge, right? So her following video, she's like, oh, I know what you're here for. And then she starts talking about Valentine. She completely ignores the fact that she was caught red-handed, lying and falsely advertising something, a product. And so this PR lady said, is that the new norm? that basically you can falsely advertise that what she was well known for, she's just basically ignoring it because now she thinks she's too famous and she's getting too much money. And basically that people, even though they're caught lying, they pretend that nothing happened and then they just continue, you know. And it's basically here what's at the core of everything that's wrong with Harry, Meghan Markle, Hillary, Alec Baldwin, Hunter Biden, who now admitted that the laptop was his. Everybody knew the laptop was his, right? And now Joe Biden saying he has confidential classified documents can only be had by the president, and he had presidential classified documents that took a detour through Chinatown, you know. And it's okay, you know, they laugh about it. So I was thinking a lot about that, because now there's the big thing about King Charles wants Harry there, because at the end of the day, it's his son, and he wants him there to demonstrate he's the bigger person. At what point, and this is why I go about and I say, Harry and Meghan Markle continue to lie and slander, defame the monarchy, the United Kingdom, and the Commonwealth, their reputation. They have created diplomatic issues with the racist thing that went on unanswered. And the reason why they continue and they feel untouchable is because King Charles, but most importantly the UK Parliament, failed to act. I understand, and I've always said this, I understand is if for example the royal family in a personal, as a family capacity, they don't want to address the cry gate, whether Catherine Meghan cried, that's irrelevant. Whether William punched Harry, that's irrelevant. Whether Harry's penis froze, that's irrelevant. Whether a member of the royal family had concerns about Archie's skin color, I don't care about that. But Harry and Meghan went and got an award for fighting institutional racism in the monarchy. And they have attacked Parliament, they have attacked the United Kingdom, and even the staff, because they attacked the staff. The staff that Meghan Markle bullied, abused. And the royal family, this is why Parliament is there, to call out the royal family. When Churchill did not let things slide. When Churchill was, back then Parliament was strict. They wanted to keep the monarchy decent, because the monarchy is the head of state is the monarch, and the monarchy is there to do, the monarchy is able to do what sometimes the prime minister can't, because they're politically neutral. They're not partisan, you know. They may have their political opinions, or they may do certain things or advocate for certain causes, as long as they're not partisan to any political party. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense for any of you guys. So the fact that Harry and Meghan have received a human rights award for fighting institutional racism within the monarchy in the UK, because they have attacked, they had to flee. Please listen, you only flee like North Korea, Iran, and places like that where the human rights are non-existent. Harry in his book and Meghan Markle have said that they fled the United Kingdom in fear for their safety. Harry suing the United Kingdom to get free security. Now, I did a video yesterday talking about how they're trying to keep, you know, the magician, you know, they show you one hand while they're doing everything under with the other hand. To this day, they haven't addressed serious stuff. And what happens is that they point out other little irrelevant, non-consequential stuff. For example, Harry and Meghan Markle have not complied with producing the testimony from the doctors, a signed testimony from the doctors stating where, when, and how the child was born, and if they witness and test their witnesses to her giving birth to the children. That is mandatory in order for any child born from any royal family member to be part of the line of succession. Instead, everything is hushed over. The royal family knew at the very least since October 2018, when Jason Kanoff wrote those memos saying that Meghan had been bullying staff for months now, and nothing had been done about it. So we know that when Jason Kanoff wrote the emails, this behavior had been going on for months. It had been addressed and nothing had happened. So he had to put it in writing. So we know for a fact that at least from the time that that Jason Kanoff wrote the memo to HR saying, listen, Meghan Markle is abusing and bullying staff. This is not acceptable. Do the laws of decency apply to the principals? Principals are basically the senior royals, right? Because he had to put it in writing, because the abuse it's abuse. Bullying is abuse. Okay? They want to call it bullying to minimize it, but bullying is abuse. We just saw, I don't know if you guys have seen two boys punching in a school bus, two 12-year-olds punching the shit out of that 9-year-old girl. And everybody stood by and did nothing. That is not bullying. I wish people would stop using that word. That was abuse. That was assault. Okay? But anyways, so we know that, and what was the response? Prince William, Prince Charles, back then Prince Charles, and the Queen were aware of this behavior. And instead of doing something about it, they covered it up, which is why the staff felt very vulnerable, because the monarchy, they can destroy your reputation of the employees. They protect their own, but as an employee, or part of the staff member, they're basically subject to whatever it was. So Prince William responds to simply distance himself and separate the houses is not the correct answer what he did, because basically he washed his hands off that mess and he allowed the staff. And he let the poor staff that were working for Harry and Meghan Markle basically on their own. He just said, well, we're not part anymore. You deal with that. So these people who were highly trained professionals and who had worked in really stressful environments felt completely defenseless. Because let's face it, if you're not recommended by if you work for the royal family, the British royal family, which is the highest profile people in the world, and you don't get a good reference, you're practically unhireable. You're done. So that's why these people were crying. This is why these people felt upset. Not as much as Meghan Markle bullying, abusing them, Meghan and Harry, but the fact that they knew that nobody was speaking out for them, that they knew that all the senior royal members of the family were aware of this, and instead of doing something about it, they covered it up. And they knew that at the end of the day, it would be Harry and Meghan's reputation that they would salvage rather than for doing their job and being abused and bullied. I hope Prince William, I know he will never hear my channel, but they screwed it up. You failed. All of you guys failed. This thing I was watching with Lady Susan Hussey, that they said, oh, you know, this woke left and this crooked lawyer. No. I completely disagree with that. At the end of the day, it was up to King Charles as the head of the family, as the monarch, to basically do the decent thing and investigate what happened before dumping Lady Susan Hussey, a lady who had served Queen and country impeccably, I think for 60 or 70 years. And she had moved in so many different circles with different cultures, and she was loved by everybody. Nelson Mandela loved her. Everybody loved her. There was not one racist word to be said about this lady. Yet we have this Angola, whatever her name is, Susan Headley, I think her name is, and she used a fake name. She dressed fake in a fake manner because she's not representative. She wasn't there as a representative of a nation. Ngozi Fulani it's not her real name. Her name is Headley, her last name I can't remember. And she dressed ethnically of a country that she does not represent, and went there looking for trouble. And a simple question such as, where are you from? That would have been something really interesting, because I get that question asked a lot of me. So King Charles and Prince William, not only, they didn't stand and say, wait a minute, they could have issued a statement saying, we regret that Mrs. Fulani felt that way, we're going to start an investigation to get to the bottom of this, blah blah blah. No, The individual has been dealt with. She was dropped like she mattered nothing. And to me, that is the greatest example of why the staff working under Harry and Meghan Markle felt abandoned. Because they knew at the end of the day that the royal family, these royals, will act ruthlessly to please the crowds. They don't act correctly. They act ruthlessly. Because if you do the right thing, even if it's not popular, in the long run, it will show that you did the right thing. Which is why the queen, the late queen, was so loved and so respected. Because she didn't budge for popular opinion. She did things that she thought were correct, that they were right. Her life, her personal life, showed how she lived her life. Many people have said that, oh, well, you know, Prince Philip was cheating, whatever the reason is, but she had a home. She was a Christian woman. She represented her church. What do we have now? We have two adulterers, one of them being the head of the Church of England, because King Charles now, whether people want to admit it or not, is an adulterer. He is. And he is the head of the Church of England. And the Queen Consort that's going to be coronated, crowned or whatever, is also an adulterer, to the point that this Church of England refused, and don't come at me, say, oh, but they got a blessing afterwards. No, King Charles lobbied for 2 years to get the Church of England to marry him and Camilla in a church ceremony, like for example, like all the other royals, like when she married Diana, when Prince William married, when Andrew married, everybody. He lobbied for 2 years, because to this day, and if you go and read that, the Marriages Act still has not changed when it comes to the royals. Senior royals must be married in a church ceremony. They cannot be married in the civil registry, because if they're married, if they don't marry in a church ceremony, not a blessing, that's completely different. They basically they disqualify themselves from being monarch or from being in the line of succession or anything like that. It's still there. There has been 2 amendments done to the Marriages Act that do not, but they haven't changed that part of the royal in regards to the royal marriages. The changes that they made, I did an in-depth video about this, and I don't want to get too much into this, but the one of the changes was where, when, and how the civil marriages were going to be done. And then the second one was same-sex marriages, that they were allowed. Okay, those are the only changes. But the royal marriages, the articles for the royal marriages, still to this day remain. That that senior royals are to marry in a church ceremony, not that senior royals cannot marry in civil, in a civil ceremony. They have to be married in a church ceremony, simply because they could potentially be the head of the church. And the Church of England dictated that at the time Prince Charles could not marry Camilla Parker Bowles because she was considered an adulterer. So yeah, but we have these people with no moral. And I know many of you will come at me, you're trashing Charles. I'm just pointing out the facts. Those are the facts. And you know what's incredible? Many people say, oh, that was changed. And I have actually done a video with this. I posted all the links. I posted everything. And there are no changes to that. And people try to say, it's like when now we have Harry and Meghan Markle, when basically they went and said at Oprah that everybody was racist. The staff was racist. The staff was terrible. Harry has said that the people advised that the Queen didn't rule, that it was other people. Basically, the Queen was a puppet, which is actually felony treason. I've also stated that there's a guy who recently tried to break into Buckingham Palace with bows and arrows, ready to kill the Queen, and is the first person who's been charged with treason in a long time. Okay, but Harry has committed felony treason repeatedly by attacking the monarch, by trying to undermine the rule of the monarch and the heirs of the monarch, by interfering or causing ill will towards the UK. Okay, so, but nothing happens. So this Michaela thing got me going, because why do they keep lying? And why did the staff feel so helpless? One of the things that we see, and to me, Lady Susan Hussey is a perfect example, because Lady Susan Hussey she's not a royal, but she was always with the queen. She's an aristocrat. She's a lady, but she's not a royal. She was like an honorary employee. But this is a woman who, after 60 or 70 years of unpaid, faithful work, was discarded, forced to apologize to a woman who is a confirmed liar, whose name wasn't even the one that she had at that reception thing, who, you know, it's incredible that they made this charade to sit there. They put this beautiful lady to apologize to a grifter, who later admitted that it wasn't racist, that she knew that Lady Susan Hussey didn't mean anything by it. She knew it at the time that she did all those things and that she went on the surface. And the royal family, because King Charles, he's not interested in doing what's right. He's interested in be seen to be doing the right thing, as per the times. You know, the right things never change. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't kill, be honest, do the right thing. If you do the right thing, it will always look good, even if it's unpopular. Most people will say, you know what? Yeah, it might have not been popular, but it was right what they did. So for them to now come and say that they're going to invite Harry and Meghan Markle, reward them to come to the coronation, because we already had them at the Jubilee, but the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen, did not give them place of pride, which is why Harry and Meghan Markle took off, because they were not getting place of pride. But what did King Charles do for the Queen's burial? He put Harry and Meghan front and center as though they were senior royals, instead of having them sit with the other non-working royals, which should have been the right thing to do. Because, for example, there should have been only the senior working royals walking behind the Queen's coffin, not Harry and Meghan Markle, who had gone out of their way to trash the entire legacy of everything the Queen stood for and created, just like they did in that Netflix documentary, where they said that, you know, the Commonwealth was colonization 2.0, slavery, exploitation. And this is the Queen's life work, where Harry and Meghan were president and vice president of, were better up. It's still advertised there. And Harry has made a lot of money. So to summarize all of my ranting today, the reason Harry and Meghan Markle will continue to do this, because the monarch that we have now, they know, an abusive person knows who their victims are. And they know that King Charles' Achilles heel is that he wants to be popular, that they know that he's not well loved. They know that he doesn't have that his house is made out of very thin glass because of all the things he's done. Because King Charles wrote a nasty book about his mother and his father in the United Kingdom. So Harry's doing exactly. So King Charles does not have the moral high ground to say to Harry, you can't do that, because Harry's going to turn around and say, you've done worse. At least I love my wife. At least I'm not cheating on my wife. At least I'm not putting them. You know what I mean? Because to this day, at least that moron of the Ginger Winger wanker, you know, he's still with Meghan Markle. Whatever. Whereas King Charles is not. At least not with Princess Diana. So the moral of this whole thing is, like, a lot of people are saying that I see all these royal pundits, all these royal experts. Yes, they have to be here because then they show the higher ground. No. It's not about showing the higher ground here or showing that they're better than, no. It's doing the right thing. Harry and Meghan Markle have trashed, slandered, defamed, lied about the royal family, have accepted awards for fighting in non-existent racism within the institution of the monarchy. And they continue to do so. And now we have Harry coming and saying that they never say racism, when we know, I mean, this is gaslighting. I mean, it's incredible. And we hear all these things that King Charles is having, enrolling the services of Archbishop of Canterbury to talk to Harry, as though he's desperate as to Harry and Meghan hold anything, because he wants to look woke, just for the few people who follow Harry and Meghan Markle. How about all the damage they have caused? How about all the damage they have caused? And what is worse, they have not apologized. They want an apology instead. Because they're still setting grounds and rules and saying, oh, we're going to come if you apologize to us, in spite of the fact that they're liars. So it got me thinking. I know I started thinking a lot out of the Michaela thing, but I started thinking about that, and it's like, the reason why this happens is because it's like they do all this damage. They say all these lies, and there's no consequences, and they just keep moving on like there's nothing. And they distract you with a bunch of stuff. First, King Charles has to respond. He has to produce the 2 documents of Harry and Meghan Markle's children with the doctor's signature testifying that the children were born out of Meghan Markle, in order for the children to be in the line of succession. Harry has denounced that he fled the monarchy because it was terrible. Harry has said himself that King Charles and Prince William are trapped, that he managed to flee, that he managed to escape, that they are trapped as though it is a prison. So I ask you, do you understand now why the staff working for Harry and Meghan Markle cried and felt so abandoned? Because they knew what the royal family can do and destroy your reputation. I mean, and these people have been only working for 1-2 years. Lady Susan Hussey had been working for 60 years faithfully with the Queen. And look how they dumped her and made her humiliate herself. So do you understand why the staff felt so helpless? Do you think that was right of Prince William, King Charles? Now, do you think it's right? What's important here, to do the right thing and say to Harry and Meghan, this is only a state occasion. Only people for the state, part of the state here, are going to be here, not you. Only senior working royals should be there, heads of states, because Harry and Meghan pose a threat to these people. Because we know it's not what they do in the moment, it's what they do after. So let me know what you think, beautiful people.